The Indonesian Stock Exchange IDX is projected to improve from June 20th to the 23rd with influence from external sentiment. This includes the debt ceiling in the United States, while another issue is estimated to decelerate China's economy. Meanwhile, Indonesia investors are faced with the implementation of auto rejection for all price fraction below the amount of 15% several days ago. Let's see this week's market recap. What sector will improve, and the implementation of auto rejection going to make a significant impact on composite stock prices. To find out more, we have our Advisor.id CEO Praska Putrantyo in the program. Well, let's welcome Mr. Praska. Thank you and good morning. Welcome. Thank you. Please have a seat. Now let's start with talk with Indonesian Stock Exchange. So what's happening this week?
Yeah. Okay. From the movement of the GCI in last week, I can conclude into more or less 6 points. The first, GCI has rebounded from support level at 6,600 by technically movement supported by huge foreign inflow to our index. Foreign inflow amounting to 1.63 trillion weekly. And the second is, in brief, relief sentiment from the dramatic debt selling in US. I think it has caused the investors to be calm. And that's why the investors start to accumulate the stock from the pressure price and come back to buy many of blue chip stocks. And three, even though the catalyst from earnings seasons and cash dividends sentiment has been over, but our stock market is still powered by east policy by our central banks to benchmark interest rate by 7 days repo rate, which is investors still hopes that it's stable at 5.75% since the year-on-year inflation has been published, went down to 4% in May 2023. And the last is the news from China and also in US, which the China economic data such as Service Purchasing Manager Index rising up to 57.1 level above market consensus. It's also supporting the sentiments in markets because China economic has been anticipated into deceleration and in recent weeks. Okay. Yeah, I think that's what making the market the stock in our countries has been seems to be fluctuative in recent week.
Right. So what sector are we looking in this week following the decline of the debt ceiling in the issue in the U.S.?
Yeah, since the debt selling issues in U.S. has been over and the drama has been over, I think there are 4 sectors that we can watch to where investors can accumulate the stocks inside the sectors such as banking, and the second is non-cyclical consumer goods, and the third is I mean retail, and the fourth is infrastructure such as telecommunication. And I think the 4 sectors, the stocks in the 4 sectors still have the prospective fundamentals, and also the investors should also watch the condition of the financial performance of the issuers itself.
Okay, so
yeah.
What sector? So that's what's happening this week. So what sector that should we look for next week or like in the near future?
Okay, beside that 4 sector, I think we can also watch the commodity sectors because as can be seen, the commodities price such as coal and also crude oil has risen up, where the coal price is up to more than $140, and also crude oil up to more than $70 per barrel, that also caused the commodities price such as crude oil and also I mean coal exposure stock price has been appreciated in recent weeks. Yeah.
Now, this new adjustment will also reduce speculation in stock market. Market participation will be more careful and may avoid speculate stocks in favor of stocks with good fundamentals. You mentioned earlier the foreign investor, they going for the blue chips. So who will be lost the most and from the implementation from the new auto rejection?
Yeah, I think the issue of new auto rejection rule, I think investors should not be fear of it, because the key is as long as the investor can select and also, to evaluate the fundamental of the issuer itself. I think the investors should be avoided from the most stock price. Even though the limit, the downside limit for current days is already changed into minus 15%.
Yes.
Because when we buy a good stock, of course, when the price is pushed down, I believe that the other investor will also buy it again. So that's why we call it as bargain hunting. That's why I'm not sure that when a good stock is going down in price, it will go down to more than 15% in a day. Yeah.
Right. So basically, it doesn't matter what's the auto rejection for the bottom price, even if it goes like on September, it's going to go down to 25 to 35. What you're saying is, as long you have a good fundamental, when it's actually go down, as you mentioned earlier, it could be a bargain instead of like it's going down. Like it's the good time to buy in. Now, let's talk about like things that are happening this week. Australian Central Bank and the European Central Bank, they just announced that they're going to increase 25 basis point for the interest rate. I think Europeans going to do another one on July. While Indonesia is still, like you mentioned earlier, the BI rate for 7 days still 5.75%, if I'm not mistaken. So what does that mean, and what sort of things that investors are looking at to invest in the future with that announcement?
Okay, following the decision of Europe Central Bank raising their interest rate decision to 3.75%. Because in that area in the eurozone, I think they are still combating the high inflation, even though the current inflation is already published at 6.1% year on year by May 2023. It's going down from the previous months, and it's the lowest level since 12 months ago. But the trend of the inflation is not reaching the lowest level, the targeted level at more or less 2% in the long run for the eurozone area. That's why the central bank I think the central bank in the eurozone has followed also the Federal Reserve that has raised their interest rate into 5.25% in last May 2023. That's why I think the rising interest rate policy in developed markets, because they still combating the inflation in the countries, even though I believe in the futures, the trend of the rising interest rate should be decelerated or maybe should be halted for a while, because the trend of the inflation has been decelerated. Then the second is the manufacturer index, the service index, has also been pushed down below 50. It's because it's indicating the economic is start to be contractive below 50. And the third is the yearly GDP growth has also decelerated too. For example, in eurozone, in recent quarters, by March 2023, the GDP growth yearly has touched down into 1% compared to previous quarter at 1.8%. I think it's already showed that the impact of higher interest rate much huger for the real economic. That's why I think the near future should be halted for a while, even though maybe the central banks and also the policymakers should pay attention to the development the progress of the real macroeconomic data for next month.
So how's that going to impact the investors for months to come? So are they gonna keep their money in Europe or Australia, or are they gonna start looking for investing somewhere else, or and then are they gonna buy stocks, or are they going to government bond with that?
Okay, I think by rising interest rates, I think it should be good for investing in bonds. And one of the type is government bonds because in this I think the trend is the trend is like different for current condition, because by in the mid of higher interest rate era, the investors tends to invest in government bonds. It's like to be different in the previous era, or by theoretical where the interest rate is higher. The investing in bonds should be avoided, but now investors try to shift their investment from stock market into government, because they currently don't see about the condition of interest rate, but they see about what's happened with the current inflation, because the current inflation is now start to be slowing down. That's why they can predict that maybe in next year, as we can hear from the statement of the Federal Reserve, that next year maybe the Federal Reserve may decrease or adjust lower from the current level for interest rate. That's why the investors start to more invest in government bonds. It also happens in Indonesia. For example, foreign investors has accumulated their investment in our government bond up to 70 trillion by this year to date, from 1st January into June, last day. That's why I believe that the tone in government market is still optimistic.
All right, Mr. Praska, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on the market recap. Thank you so much for being on the show on the C today. And now with that, we're going for a break, but when we come back, we'll have more updates from around the world here on the C Morning Show, so stay here on the C today.
Yeah, thank you.